The touch they have it at butter, which Dave said.
Oh yeah, hey guys, I'll mention it here live on the podcast. Maybe after my birthday, we could do another karaoke night on the weekend after my birthday. That'd be the second weekend of September.
Make sure you specify real close what we're gonna do.
Oh, I mean, you know what? Let's not do that.
Shit.
By that I
Where
mean
is a live thing?
Hey everybody, it's me, Henry. I'm back. HENEREYG on Twitter.
Boop, boop, boop.
Nobody can stop me there. Boy.
Where do you see if we're live or not? Again?
Video manager.
This is not. Oh. It is our account. Hello.
Creator Studio.
Hopefully we're not streaming this part out. Hi, people. There are 12 people here watching us futz around.
Well,
yeah.
Actually, I got notice on my phone, so live streaming.
I'm here.
If only you could see what we're doing.
Well, go to events. I think it'll list them.
Okay.
Just,
Check it. Hold on, people. We're almost there.
Click that, and then you get the URL.
It's been a while.
Been a while.
Well, it's been a while for me, everybody. Look at all the
Hey, do
chat
people see us?
That's pretty much how I feel, so that's about right.
Pardon me.
Hang on, everybody. We're going to start right at 3 o'clock, and you guys are going to be part of the live show. Is everybody ready to have a good time?
Sure.
That sign says
Yes.
applesauce.
I'm ready for suicide.
That sign says suicide.
Suicide Squad. Joking. It says.
Can we
shut
play?
the hell
Can we
up.
play Try Suicide?
Try. Teenage suicide.
Head first this time.
Read Aaron Child's question, Hank.
How much? No, boo.
People have missed this, Henry.
Boo. Come on, guys.
Well, first of all, Aaron, we didn't have popcorn. The boogers were under the seat. And and the cum was on your.
Soda.
You are not, Dylan. You are not the only person who. Well,
Was
never
that
mind.
your soda I heard opening, or was that Chris? I thought I heard.
I had
Chris
an
open
energy
this.
drink.
Oh, an energy drink.
Henry, you have to imagine stepping in it, and it's filling the soles of your shoes.
All right, I quit again.
The creases in between your shoes.
Oh,
jamming
all
up
right,
with.
stop it.
And a mix of chewed popcorn on top of that.
All right. Boy, this is fun though. Hey,
It is.
while we're still warming up here, did everybody in the chat listen to the Cape Crisis solo special, Henry's Comic-Con Diary?
No.
Did you? I know I've trained you to not look at the Cape Crisis feed anymore, but you might want to check it. A couple weeks ago, I shared all my thoughts and experiences from covering Comic-Con for the first time in a couple of years, and chief among them, getting to meet the. I think my favorite moment was getting to interview the cast and creators of Steven Universe. That was tons of fun.
Sean Dolan, Chris Capel, how you guys doing?
A lot of yeses. See, people were listening.
Yeah. Diary gay. Jesus Castle too. Now hold on, guys.
Diary gay.
At around 3, we're going to get started with what is a live version of our regular podcast. We're going to try and include all of your feedback. We are not on the air just yet. It'll all make sense when you go back and listen to the podcast, even though I'm assuming the several dozen of you in here right now will not be doing that. But there will be another part of the podcast that is not going live.
Yes.
So
30 minutes live, 30 minutes post-production.
Cyber Canadian, this is not No Man's Sky. That's tomorrow.
So we still want to get your hot downloads anyway, so you got to do it if you want to hear the other part of this.
Yeah, let me just retweet this from the Laser Time account, people. Hang on.
Yes, but, whew, boy, you know, also, hey, another quick preview. I'll be on this week's bonus time, which will be posting on the Patreon tomorrow, where you'll get to hear my tales of attending Star Trek Las Vegas, the 50th anniversary Star Trek convention. I have never been more buried in Star Trek than that weekend. Not weekend, 5 days in Las Vegas.
It was strange.
Whew, yeah, it was very strange, but I've come out of it a changed man, and I met some surprising celebrities, but you'll only hear about that on the bonus time on Patreon. So, you know, if you're not a $5 or more supporter yet, what's the matter you? And HENEREYG on Twitter, yes.
Only because you're a guest.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm still doing my thing at fandom.wikia.com. I think I just wrote a what Metroid means to me 30 years later type thing. And also after being very disappointed by the shitty Killing Joke movie and just kind of like tired of people loving the Joker in bad things, I was like, here's 5 Joker stories that are good. Like, that also make it clear Joker is an asshole. Like, he's not. You don't want to be the Joker.
Guess who's Hank? Hank again. Well, all right, we're gonna go live, guys, in just a few seconds.
What do you mean, like, really start the show?
We're gonna really start the show.
Here.
All right. You guys ready? Everybody ready?
So ready.
Turn your phones. I didn't bring any water. This is gonna be a disaster. All right. Yeah, we have guys. We are very unstructured here with how we're gonna do this. I might keep some notes, try and write some stuff down. Dave, you have the computer. Can you maybe?
This thing is like slowing to a crawl.
Oh,
I might have to
bitch.
just restart.
Bitch.
It, sorry.
Let me see if we can pop out the chat.
Well, you got the pad here too.
Got the iPad. It has the capability of displaying content.
All right.
You like triple the size of that text?
Let's see if I can.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's almost big enough for my eyes. There we go. Thank you. Those hot downloads. Yes. This is the Nintendo stream, right? It's
all right.
Yes.
We're about to.
We are.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We are about to go live, everyone. Hang on. Let me make sure everything's nominal.
So if you're watching this, none of this counted up to this point.
No, none of this counted. None of this is going in the podcast. But guys, here we go.
Canon.
Here's the preamble. We are going live with our suicide reactions. We want you to join in, chiming in the chat. Please let us know what the hell's going on, what you thought of Suicide Squad, and we are going to go live in just a minute. Okay, is everybody ready?
I'm ready, and it will be spoiled. Yes.
Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers.
As Aaron Chado said, like Quickie Mart milk, it's going to be spoiled.
Shit. Let me see. Is everybody ready to root for the bad guys? It is laser time. Hi. And before we get started, spoilers, 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 spoilers. How about that? Are we good?
Yeah, and you can skip to the second half if you
can skip to the second half.
Don't want to get spoiled.
This is Laser Time, the internet's 4th leading pop culture show. Usually we pick a topic, we ramble off on it with potentially a special guest, which those watching the video can see already. It's already spoiled. But today's topic is pretty much just Suicide Squad and Suicide Squad reactions. We're all big comic book dorks, so yes, there will be Suicide Squad spoilers. Following that, we will have a discussion of upcoming comic book films. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm Chris Antista. Who else do we have with us?
Dead rat owner Brett Elston.
Dead shot Dave Rudden.
And
scaly guy Henry Gilbert. The
hey
guest.
now.
Hello.
Hey Gilbert. We are fresh out of Suicide Squad, and man,
it's leaving my brain as we speak.
It's not leaving my brain because like. I spent the first 2/3 of the film like, what the fuck is everybody's problem? And then the final third, I'm like, oh shit, this is a disaster. This is almost a disaster. But
yeah, I was definitely feeling echoes of Fantastic Four 2015.
And that's, I think, since we experienced that and we watched firsthand a really bad movie.
Yeah.
B real studio tampering was evident there, way more so than in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But like. If anything, shit, I don't know. I don't want to jump straight to the punch with my problem with Suicide Squad.
Well, you have no better time to do that.
It's big. Its big reason for existing and being a summer tentpole, Enchantress shit was not necessary. Was not necessary even slightly. All that stuff like makes the movie seem very confused, and everything leading up to that. Like I did go take a piss, and I whispered to Hank, "What the fuck is their mission?"
Yeah,
they have never said it. Joker is nowhere to be seen, even though he's been established. And they're not going anywhere towards the big bad we were introduced to.
Yeah, it was weird where you're like, we have a mission to go in and get someone important, and you're like, okay.
And well, they were headed towards it, but like to the side a little bit. They're like, but we have to go to this building.
You can see it behind them. And it's like, we have to go to do this thing. What is it? It's super important. It's your priority. And then they get there. Well, never mind. Let's circle back.
Why don't we start with the good stuff?
Yeah. I agree with Dara Diafoil, who said it was a solid 6 out of 10. That's my opinion. It's like
that's the first 2/3. I would rate like 8 out of 10.
And if you want a good superlative, it's the best DC film since Nolan did Batman.
Yeah, but that's like saying it's the best smelling turd.
Yeah.
Well, and Christian Rivero, I agree too. It's better than Batman versus Superman, and the Batman stuff in it was good. Like I mean, for the moments you see Bruce Wayne in it, it was like, oh, this feels like a star. It feels like when Tony Stark shows up in Hulk or whatever.
Which is weird because judging by what we'll discuss in the next segment, they're making Bruce Wayne the Sam Jackson of the DC universe.
Pretty much.
Will Smith was good, Chris Fellows. It wasn't as much as the Will Smith movies I thought it would be, and now that I'm out of it, I'm like, I wish it was more of a Will Smith movie. I wish he was funnier.
It could have just been Will Smith and Margot Robbie. Really.
I think it
everyone
could have
else
been.
is such an afterthought.
Well, that's part of I think what people are so pissed about, and I think they're leaning too much on the behind the scenes shenanigans.
Yeah.
But I think even if there hadn't been reshoots, there wasn't enough time to introduce an entire squadron of people. Like
yeah, and it was like. Captain Boomerang has no time.
No, none.
And I mean, Katana.
They
barely
literally
has
I just went on the website to get stuff. I'm like, who the fuck is Slipknot? I haven't seen him in any of the trailers, and he's introduced for like 4 seconds just to die.
I mean, he's there. Yeah, the second they started talking about it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. They have to show the audience that they really can have their heads explode.
Yes.
So one head has to explode.
Yeah,
and of course,
grappling
Slipknot had to do it. And yeah, I think somebody's asking if there's any part that will make me as angry as the treatment of Lois Lane was in BVS. And no, the closest I got to mad in that movie was just like. The music, the licensed music, especially in the first half hour, is oppressive.
It is the Clear Channel showcase.
I called it the wedding DJ sampler. It's like
there were no like renegade cuts like you weren't expecting. They're all radio safe.
Yeah,
everything you've heard for years.
Really weird.
Henry leaned to me when like, why are they playing Creedence Clearwater Revival's Fortunate Son to introduce Killer Croc?
Killer Croc, yeah.
An anti-Vietnam song.
Yeah, it's just like, it just seemed to like, well, Guardians.
Alex agrees, yes.
Guardians had a great soundtrack of classic hits. We should do that too.
And that's what
I don't get why you would fulfill this movie with so many.
So the difference with it and Guardians, and they were totally, I think,
we were all talking about how DC was rushing to make its Avengers. I didn't know they were rushing this hard to make Suicide their Guardians.
Yeah, they wanted to be their Guardians, and that's with the licensed music too, but licensed music in Guardians, like, for the most part, they shot the scenes knowing what music they were going to have in there. Like, a lot of them were basically music videos to those specific songs on the mix. While meanwhile, in this movie, like, those songs are interchangeable. And, like, when the two that made me groan the hardest, one was Fortunate Son, because, like, after Sympathy for the Devil, Fortunate Son is the most overused song in any American film.
Man,
sorry, Castro says the music he didn't mind so much, except that fucking Eminem song, which is like
horrible.
I immediately went ugh, and then all of a sudden I was just like, they cut out all the lyrics relating to Marshall Mathers, and it does all apply to the Suicide Squad.
But just the list of songs that aren't in the official soundtrack that were just additional music. They're so it's just such cliche stuff. House of the Rising Sun, Sympathy for
the Devil,
Super
Vaping
Freak,
so hard, Jeffrey.
That drove me crazy.
Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, which of course
another.
It was a mishmash of like the Iron Man soundtrack and the Forrest Gump soundtrack.
Black Skinhead from Kanye West, Seven Nation Army.
I like that.
Army.
I hated that.
Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
Love that.
Norman Greenbaum, Spirit in the Sky. These are just all Come Baby Come by K7.
K7, man. I love my K7.
And Queen Bohemian Rhapsody.
Was the Eminem song Stan? No, it wasn't.
That would fit too for Joker. But I mean, just like Super Freak 2 was so obvious. I was like, you're bashing my head in with these obvious songs. And Guardians, the songs were counter to it. He's in outer space surrounded by all these weird aliens. And then he's dancing to 70s music.
Yeah, it gave an otherworldly movie a different flavor by having that music there to ground you in the story of Star-Lord.
Yeah, and instead this was just like, what's every song ever used in like Forrest Gump or a Martin Scorsese film? These ones.
And I knew it was going to be that. I knew because we've read all the behind the scenes stuff, right? That they've been recutting this up until right now. The people who cut the trailer that everybody liked was brought in to cut the actual fucking film, which is like 2 steps away towards DC hiring us to write the film.
And of course Spirit in the Sky. Easy peasy. Yeah. Oh god. Drove me crazy.
But it's the most democratic movie I've ever seen. This scene tested well, therefore it goes in. It doesn't matter that we've already introduced Will Smith 2 seconds ago. We're going to introduce him again. And then we're going to tell his origin.
It was also weird how quickly all these people who are in prison for various murders like all gain this trust with each other. And I know they're kind of, they're going to die otherwise, so they'll go along with it. But then like they have a chance to run, and then like Boomerang immediately leaves, and you're like, that makes sense. And then he comes back, and it's like, why the fuck did he come back? Because he didn't contribute to the movie at all after that point anyway. So if your point was to like, see, he's got a heart of gold, I guess, but he doesn't have another speaking line in the movie. I don't think he says another word after that.
The bar scene does set a little bit of like, we're all fuck ups. Let's just like we'll stick together.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't think it earned that moment to reunite everybody, especially when he tried to establish these characters as like sociopathic people.
They weren't breaking up. It was just like, oh, this is an impossible mission.
Yeah.
We finally realized it's now like weird ancient things with Cthulhu eyes on.
No,
that,
it's again, it's not a Marvel fucking love fest because like if anything, I didn't hate the film at all. I liked it a lot. Even though it has problems, I said this before I even saw it, it shows glimmers that DC got the message of what I didn't like about Batman versus Superman, and I have something to look forward to now that they're changing course from that dark, brooding horseshit.
This is a movie that was altered. Basically, like it was mostly filmed.
Yeah.
Then all the BVS shit happened.
It was written in 6 weeks.
Yeah. But then they did reshoots and heavy editing. And it turned out okay, which makes me think that like next year's stuff will be good because they've realized, okay, now we've got to go counter what we did with Batman vs Superman.
Again, I would love to go in there. One, I for $500 DC, I would have done punch up on the dialogue because you can see some of the old like not clever, not funny
just a
dialogue.
Lot of grumpy, sad, angry people. In it.
Yeah,
her heart is gone. Let's get her.
Oh,
dude, there's shit like that in there. And this seems like a first draft, and you can fix those kinds of things. Shit, I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the big bad because by the time the movie would run its course, had it ended with like a Joker assault on the Suicide Squad, that would have been awesome, like an awesome lead up to a new Batman film.
And also, they made the villain like literally like your countermeasure against the big witch who can do anything is to just poke her heart. Like that's so that is the flimsiest reason like
a
put together
remote
the
control
Squad.
witch.
Like,
and I agree with Ryan that like the Killer Croc's dialogue was nothing. Like he changed from scene to scene.
Was that Adebisi?
That was Mr.
Echo?
Mr. Echo from Lost.
Yeah, it was Adebisi.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name because that'll make me seem like the ugly American. But it is
He's
really fucking
Adebisi
hard.
To me, he's not any lost crappy
Mr.
character.
Echo.
But
that's one killer app says shut your pickles.
Yeah,
yes, a little bit of punch up.
Yeah,
but again, not mad. Not like I think it was much better.
This is a kind of weird thing. I feel as though the plot was written in the early 2000s and just sat there for a decade. So that's what I was thinking when I was watching it. Like, one, the tone bounces around a lot, but the weirdest thing was like it did feel like the fifth Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. It felt like this a 2016 reimagining of the Schumacher movies, where it's like weirdly serious but super colorful and campy, but then also it's going to culminate in this weird big battle at the end, and it's just like. Because like when the Joker's goons come in and they're all wearing silly costumes,
fucking awesome.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is what Joker used to be before he was just Why So Serious, which is also a good take on the Joker, obviously. I was like, oh, I'm totally ready for another.
I thought that was somebody came in shooting with a Batman mask.
Yeah,
that was fucking rad.
Like that and the giant panda, and it's like, okay, yeah, great.
But you barely even see it.
Yes, Chris Fellows. Yes, the Flash cameo was awesome, and the way Batman is used in the movie, I didn't expect. I thought those were great. I was all in.
Was great.
I was all in the first like hour of the film. I really was.
Yeah, the first and even the end of it, I didn't mind the end only because I like. Crazy space gods, so I was like, "Hey, those goons look really cool. They look like weird Tumerian shit out of Bloodborne." So like, it gets and I also really like. This is a silly thing that I liked, but anytime Enchantress was on screen, backlit against all that crazy blue shit, where she's just a silhouette with her eyes bugged, I was like, "That looks fucking."
I
great.
thought the effects were amazing.
Like that looked great.
Though seriously, she became Zool at the end.
Yeah,
though.
pretty much.
She was just shouting at them, and you see the lineup of them facing her down. And even when she's beaten, and they're like, "Oh, I guess she's dead," and then they take the shit off her. Like that's what they did to Sigourney Weaver to get her out too. Like it was exactly.
That's
the
a good
same.
point. Shut your pickles. Why was Captain Boomerang in the squad?
He didn't even throw the thing at the end.
Yeah.
Why'd they give it to Killer Croc?
How they explained it?
He's not good at throwing. He hasn't proven his ability.
How they explained it was
throw.
that he's really good at robbing banks, while everybody else is a murderer killing machine.
He literally did nothing in that final sequence.
Yeah.
Like Killer Croc went under.
He didn't even need to show back up again.
No, that's why I was like, he left and then came back to like, good old Boomerang, who I'm really attached to as a viewer.
I thought Deadshot was going to miss, and he would throw the boomerang at the bomb. The movie ended with a bomb.
No, I mean it was a very empty ending a bit, and just also the screaming. Like he had to scream, "Her heart's out! Now we can hit her," because they had failed to explain to that point what exactly had to happen, and also that she got tricked by Harley. But a positive thing. Margot Robbie was the cartoon Harley, like alive, like she was saying and doing the things Harley does,
and she was my favorite character going in. She's my favorite character going out, and I say that. So I say this to mean I think Michael Plaskett as how was Robbie. She was good when she was allowed to talk, but has a lot of shitty, stupid dialogue that a normal movie needs a character to have a progression.
Yeah.
You hurt my friends, like. Dude, really? Harley imagines a married life with it. Like, the whole point is this woman's fucking crazy and unpredictable, and that's why her and the Joker are a perfect pair. And they normalized her to such a weird extent to ground the film. I didn't like that at all.
I thought by the end she was going to reject the Joker, but she was still totally into the Joker in that their horrible relationship, which I thought DC was more afraid of going into. Like, in the comics, they got rid of that relationship.
It didn't seem all that horrible in this movie. Like, compared to...
Oh, yes, and them kissing.
Like,
yeah,
I know I'm weaned on Batman the Animated Series, where they imply a lot of stuff that they don't show, and they just showed a bunch of it here. And getting the taste of Killing Joke out of my mouth, I don't want to see any more longtime DC characters fucking one another.
Yes.
Someone it went by too fast. I couldn't.
What's up?
I didn't want to interrupt, but someone mentioning the text that comes up on their when they and then the crazy one, and then you get their first appearance, strength level, and all that stuff. Did it mention one of them say that Harley is the one who killed Robin?
Yes,
said accomplice to the murder of Robin.
Whoa, I missed that.
It totally did. I forgot about that too, but it flashed very quickly.
It's like that important nugget along with Boomerang's a brony, dumb little things.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're trying. Everybody,
Deadshot can use a musket.
Predicted where that arc is going very early from the first trailer.
I mean, from the very first trailer of BVS.
Do we even talk about it?
Yeah. What
What happened to Robin?
Oh yeah. Well, no, I think they've said Leto is not isn't
Joker
Jason
isn't
Todd.
Robin.
Joker Robin.
That explains the tattoos. Why there's stuff written on his.
Robin was also killed with what's his face?
Has to be funny now.
Sorry,
Here we go.
Superman's friend in Batman.
Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah,
No, he's
killed on the same strike. Damn it.
But the Harley stuff was great, and she was talking like her cartoon self, and I like that. And the pudding thing, all that was great. And they literally recreated an Alex Ross.
Oh, I know,
cover
that was so
in it.
weird.
That was amazing. I saw those pictures. I thought, what the fuck is that? I didn't know there was a scene from the film.
Yeah. And
the pictures of her and the Joker dancing.
Yeah, her in her full costume.
Well, it's like this Alex Ross painting from 20 years ago.
It was the cover to Harley's first in continuity appearance. It was called just Batman : Harley Quinn. It was her first, and it was an Alex Ross cover. But I think so the Joker, what did we think of Jared Leto's Joker?
I almost want to say there wasn't quite enough for me to he had some good moments.
Mm-hmm.
There were other moments where I thought he was Jim Carrey's mask.
Yeah.
I was ready for him to go
it's the teeth.
No,
it's the teeth.
there were ways he would lean into certain lines at times, and I'm like, you sound like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Jim Carrey wishing he was Joker,
he had been the Joker.
with the build of the Riddler from Batman Forever.
My name is Cuban Pete.
But there were other moments where, when he got touchy-feely with the bad guard, who, there
that
was
guy
no,
should have been in there.
There was no follow-up with that guy. The gap
Bernald,
tooth. Yeah, Bernald.
What's he? Is he from what the?
I've seen him in 8 million things. He's
yeah.
one of
No,
those
he's on a
character
show.
actors.
He's on Matt TV for a while. He was on Mindy Project.
Mindy Project. That's the
yeah.
one.
But he was really good. I was sad that he just left the movie after.
I thought he'd be murdered or something.
Also, Leto is pissed. Yeah, Casey Walsh. I mean, that's the downside to pre-production that we're all. That knowing so much about the pre-production taints our feelings on this movie, and that's not really fair to the film. But that, I saw a shot of Harley Quinn in her plain clothes shooting somebody next to the Joker in front of the Lambo.
Yeah,
and that was our only thing to latch on to for Suicide Squad for months, and it doesn't exist in the film.
Yeah, there probably is a lot of.
And Leto had said that you were in the film a lot, and I shot a lot more than that. You tell me where that footage went, because I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's the bigger problem with the movie, that it's just you could see all the cuts, or you could. That's the other thing that made me feel like it was Fantastic Four 2015, because at Fantastic Four 20, not like that, but in Fantastic Four 2015, you'd see, here's Johnny Storm doing street racing, and that's leading to something. It led nowhere, but they just had 5 seconds of it. Or here's a conversation, or here's the Thing on a battlefield. Wait, where's the scene where he's dropped into the battlefield by Reed? Where was that? That was in the trailers. So there's some moments like that in Suicide Squad as well, that you're just there's a missing piece here.
Even the moment of Joker in the strip club, what was that scene for?
I guess it was to show, it sort of is taken from a Joker book that Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo did, where Joker's back in town and he's meeting other gangsters.
That one. Wait, what's that called?
I think it's like Joker.
I know the cover.
Yeah, and in it, Harley's introduced by she seemingly looks like a normal woman who does a striptease down to naked and then puts on her Harley costume and then kills a dude on stage. And so I think it was meant to be that. It was just to show like what the Joker's status quo is. Him just being a crime lord. I think that's what the stuff with Common was about. But then he just like shoots.
That's just called Joker, says John.
Yeah, see, I thought it was just Joker. Thank you.
Yeah.
Why was Harley a stripper? I mean, she wasn't. She was just kind of.
Well, Harley's usually whatever the Joker needs her to be to set up something weird, and that's what makes them such a cool duo.
You know, that was one of my favorite Harley moments, actually, when she said, so you're textbook psychopath or sociopath. Like, that's your old training coming out. Like, that's your old life coming out. I liked that moment.
I respect that this film didn't use The Joker by Steve Miller. Fucking
yeah,
good one, Sotanga.
Oh God, that Eminem song.
Yeah, but I am so not filled with any hatred towards this film. It just has that Too Many Cooks skittishness from DC that I don't know.
Yeah,
again, it's only the Enchantress plot, like totally not necessary.
No, but they needed a big bad like the Joker. Those early trailers made me think like Enchantress isn't in those trailers.
Yeah.
Why wasn't the Joker the big bad?
Joker was the villain.
Like he hide him like fucking Jaws. Have him in the beginning and the end, and that would have been great.
And also there were I felt like 18 helicopters exploded in this movie.
How did the first helicopter even go down?
And nobody ever dies in the helicopters.
Yeah. Actually, positive thing again. Viola Davis fucking ruled as Amanda Waller.
The best character. Holy shit! What a hard C word. Yes. I've never seen someone like that. Like I thought all the characters were going to have shitty sides. No one was as shitty as Amanda Waller.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Especially when she just killed those people she was working with. Like they're not supposed to know this stuff.
I thought that scene should have been more pivotal. We're not told why anything is happening the whole film, and it's all to go get her out. And like Will Smith's like, they thought they were going to rescue Nelson Mandela. They're going to be pissed about this. Instead, what happens? Nothing.
Kind of nothing.
Nothing.
And
happens.
then everyone at the end is like, "We want our freedom." Nah, I ain't going back.
Nothing. And because there has to be this like summer tentpole big bad Enchantress scene, which while effect wise was lovely, I just didn't see why it was there.
Wait, wasn't Harley's deactivated though?
Yeah. How?
But she kind of forgot it was halfway through the movie, where she was like, I guess I can't leave. Like, no, you could.
Just like Harley. She agrees. I guess you're just supposed to infer that she likes these people, and if she tried to escape, Waller might kill them.
Yeah, Amanda Waller was the real villain. That's how the movie should have. I thought she should have been the real villain. A conflict with the Joker, all that stuff would have made for a thoroughly fucking memorable movie instead of needing to go the Marvel route of saving the universe every time.
Actually, one of my favorite moments of the whole movie was what people are mentioning here: the post-credit scene and the mid-credit scene, the Viola Davis and Ben Affleck. Like those were my favorite bits in the Justice League Unlimited series when Amanda Waller would face off with Batman, because they're both hard asses who have very different visions of things, but they eventually come to work together. And like in the show, Kevin Conroy and Cheech Pounder had such great chemistry, and so did Davis and Affleck.
That's a good comment, Darren Castro. I loved her performance, but I thought her needing Bruce's help in the mid-credit scene was a missed opportunity. I like it better when Waller has the upper hand against Batman usually.
Yeah, well, and if I was Batman, I'd say, hey, the Joker just fucking broke into your place and stole shit. Like, I'll find Aquaman some other way.
None of the film took place in Gotham. It was Marauders.
Except for the Deadshot flashback.
Yes, okay. Because I was the whole time like, do I need to wonder where Batman is? If the Joker
it's all Louisiana, though. You think you think after 8 hours of that, Batman would be like, hey, Wonder Woman, let's just fly over here.
I don't
see what this end of the world.
I don't need to harp on that because there's so much in the movie that I really like. So I'm not upset by the stuff I didn't at this point.
Yeah, there's another thing I'm thinking about this though, that people mentioned how they had
Yvette Nicole Brown would have been great in this.
But yeah, that would I watch an ultimate cut of this, John Wah? Yeah, I probably would.
It's the opposite of Batman vs Superman, where Batman vs Superman, like, I don't want to see another second of this movie again. This is like, I want to see what the actual vision for this was.
Well, that's somebody was mentioning.
Like if the director has a.
They're teasing alternate cuts for the DVD, like they did with Batman vs Superman. I really think that that gets really confusing, doesn't it, for the mainstream
what is
audience?
Reality?
Yeah, which one's our real ending?
And like a year from now, it's kind of like, well, it'd be like with the Lord of the Rings, where if somebody somehow
Midway
didn't see
City,
the Lord of the Ring films in theaters, a few years after, do they go like, so do I watch the 4-hour movie or do I watch the 2.5-hour movie?
It's confusing. It's a practice actually that used to occur all the time when films were brought to television. They'd add extra scenes, not in the home video release or the theatrical release, and confuse the shit out of people forever.
Now, if I could make this slightly about Marvel versus DC. One thing they mentioned that had been a selling point of DC's in, I think, the last couple of years when they were starting these, they're like, well, you know, Marvel wants to do everything the Marvel way, and they interfere with everybody, and they do. Like, they recut stuff a ton.
They chased away Edgar Wright and Joss Whedon. Those are huge sins.
They chased away auteurs, and they were saying, like, well, we're hiring real auteurs. Like, this is going to be David Ayer's movie. This is going to be Zack Snyder's movie. And then you hear about, like, no, they really interfered a lot and recut a ton of things.
I mean, some of those stories involve him like kind of quitting and leaving his agencies and leaving the film, and because Grimm recommended it, I didn't even put it together. He's like, Fury was rad, and I went and watched Fury. Like, this movie's fucking awesome, and these characters, I see why they handed this guy Suicide Squad. A bunch of unlikable military people stuck in a bad situation. Just recommending Fury real quick. Nothing really to add there.
Ask Dave, the Iceman, why didn't Deadshot kill Harley when he had the chance? Waller promised him freedom and his daughter, and suddenly this couple hours long friendship with Harley trumped that?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure why that scene needed to be in there.
He sort of hated Waller, so it might have just been an FU to Waller, too. But that scene didn't need to happen either way, though then again, when that moment happened, I was thinking, like, well, even if Harley's hanging there, like, Waller wants to murder her. She's like, okay, shoot her. She's going to tell somebody to shoot her.
And at that point, if I could, this is reading a lot into it, at that point, Waller's like, fuck the plan, shoot that bitch.
Yeah.
Like, if I was Will Smith, like, oh, fuck, I have leverage over, just as much leverage over this lady that she has over me.
Also, Rick Flag, I think they forgot what they were doing with him.
That was the first, like, he's conducting that interview, Suicide Squad interview with Will Smith.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you got it. And then the scene cuts. They're totally inappropriate. I'm like, you were all for this in the last scene. Where did this come from? This is a total tonal shift.
And it's also like, you know, he can do this.
Yeah.
That's why he's here.
You seem very proud of him.
Because he did those
why
things.
are you like, prove it? Like, you didn't ask anyone else in this weird group to prove anything. You asked him to prove this?
Well, he saw that Killer Croc had guts.
He's got weird skin. Therefore, you're on the team.
And the audience too had already seen him do awesome shooting, so they know he can do it too. I liked Deadshot's costuming. I liked he had his arm guns, and I thought Will Smith did a really good job. He was really good.
Yeah, not doing the Will Smith tampering, which is something most films have to worry about.
So that he was in so many montage scenes that had rap songs and none of them had his own music.
That was
Suicide Squad. Yeah, Gary Matthews says, just realizing the only one who actually commits suicide is the soldier who detonates the bomb. Like, he just blows himself away.
I mean, Diablo kind of stays in his space. I wonder if he'll come back.
Casey Walsh.
The camera's back? Okay.
Did it? Is it
People
dead?
now
It says it's back. But who knows?
Yeah, whatever. Casey Walsh says, what did he say? I don't see Batman taking down Deadshot in front of his kid. Why not wait till after she leaves?
Yeah, you'd think, but he was probably just like, well, it's the only time, it's the first time I've seen him anywhere. Though her being able to give the tip off to Batman where to find Deadshot, I was like, well, then have Waller talk to, I guess that already sets up the relationship between Waller and Bruce.
Yeah.
And I like the implication in the post-credit scene that she knows him, that she knows his secret identity.
Yeah.
Did it imply that?
She said you got to stop working nights.
Yeah.
I mean, Amanda Waller's not
that game's
stupid.
20 years old this week, Bruce.
If she was already thinking, if she had an idea that Bruce Wayne is Batman, Bruce Wayne saying, "Can you give me the locations of the Justice League?"
Yeah,
that would tell her immediately, like, you're Batman.
Connor Wade says, I forgot El Diablo was in the film and his costume design was rad.
He was really good.
Among the silliest things I saw was Diablo in like a nice polo eating dinner with his family with a full skull,
that was
skull
weird,
face
like,
tattoo. But that scene of him, like, I did like his character and Killer
Croc.
Croc.
The most tasteful tattoos in the whole movie. Let's say that.
But just that, like, I don't want to be a bad person, but I can't stop myself from doing bad things. Feel free to confine me. I give up. I don't want to be that person anymore. But then, like, He killed his family.
He robbed them.
And you took the whole audience there, and then pulled back and didn't really explain any of the reasoning.
But he was just like, and then I got mad and stuff, and but because they had him do the scream to the heavens, no, like we knew what that meant.
I'm so sad I'm making a fire dancing lady on my arm.
But just like in Apocalypse, like this had some similarities to Apocalypse too, like Enchantress and all that, and also the family only created to die for dramatic.
As Derek Lau said, the sword only exists to cut through Enchantress.
Yeah.
It's literally the only reason for that katana to exist.
That
character just popped up like, hey, this is a katana.
And they said multiple times, because they say a lot of things multiple times, that sword has souls, and it's like, how do you know? That's an abstract concept. It can't just be. I know smoke comes off of it, but that's a pretty easy effect.
It is so
my
goofy.
vape pen has souls.
It was so goofy how many times
my grandparents.
Well, like that.
Hi, Mrs. Elston.
that Rick Flag had to re-explain those things, like, hey, you know, that's got that blade eats souls. Like, oh, you're just gonna drop that on us? Like,
another reason I didn't like the fucking ending at all. They showed like when that the brother first appeared. I thought those sequences were righteous. I thought the effects were awesome. I thought that was really cool. They go and capture him and then just cut to a different film, and then he reminds us what happened. I'm like, here's where they piece together why they're there.
That was
like,
confusing.
That was just that's what I already know. You showed me again.
Yeah, you just showed me when she got away. I was like, but I know she got away. You said she got away.
Yeah,
and this doesn't like enrich that scene.
Yeah, it doesn't mean, oh, whoa, this huge. No, she got away.
Because that was in case you forgot, not like filling in backstory why this is happening in the first place.
The twist would be like if like they were both in on it, or the twist is now Flag is actually a bad guy or something. Like,
also for as much as they were watching everybody, like she had a fucking cell phone the whole time to talk to Joker, but they're watching everybody's everything and like strip them down to all their stuff to make sure like, hey, you're just having the things we give you. But she's got Joker's cell phone,
which has contacts on it. And it's like, here's your old phone back. Oh, that's Joker's phone number.
It has his picture program.
I can tell by the avatar he uses to message you with. Maybe we should just track that phone.
Yeah. I mean, meanwhile, none of them know or are aware that the Joker's on the loose or on the way, even though everybody's still connected. I don't know. Like,
I gotta also say, Batman really sucks that the whole time the Joker had been free. Like all that shit. Like the Joker was never in jail anytime in that movie. Harley got caught. But so the Joker was free while Batman was fighting Superman? Like when he was trying to murder Superman, the Joker was just free the entire time?
So the movie implies that the Joker is the Joker that we all know, a giant menace.
Yeah,
to
the
Gotham
one
City.
Batman's been fighting for a long time.
So so it does imply that, because I think it implies both, that like he's just getting started.
Well,
or
when she's interviewing him in Arkham, like it's set up like this is Arkham, this is where bad guys go, and he's here and she's interviewing.
Does Batman not think he's dead because when they drove off into
the car crash?
Yeah.
No,
no, he was
body.
gone. Yeah.
And I would think this cinematic Batman's like cartoon Batman. If there's no Joker body, the Joker is not dead.
Is it also a case of like when Batman thinks someone skipped town? It's like, because that's what they say with Killer Croc. It's like he left Gotham. It's like, oh, that's all it takes to avoid not be caught by Batman.
Batman's
just leave
too
Gotham.
Busy with Gotham stuff all the time. He can't leave Gotham to chase him.
Yeah,
he's terrorizing a different city. It's fine.
The guard did give Harley the phone, so that's why they don't know. But it's still like they have all this surveillance equipment on them. Like it's just they're in one of those ridiculous comic book things that should be like. It's a magic room. Like they can detect whatever the story wants them to detect. So for them to not know that she has a cell phone implies all the time she's in a helicopter surrounded by people texting him and no one sees that. / they don't have the ability to detect incoming and outgoing signals. Is like when you invent a magic surveillance room that can't surveil certain things only
with
when
drones everywhere.
Yeah, it's just like, how about you just find a different way to get to this point without a phone that has his phone number in it?
Yeah. So Dylan brings up the "Would you die for me? No, too easy. Would you live for me?" That had an interesting feel to it, and I like the baptism in Ace Chemicals for Harley, though that's a big change because Harley's never been in the Ace Chemical stuff, and it doesn't. I guess that's why she has pale skin. It's not makeup for her, like because. All other Harleys I know, it's makeup. She has normal skin. She's a normal blonde woman. Yeah, but even like New 52, correct me if I'm wrong, people in the chat, but New 52 Harley also, it's makeup. Like, it's not white skin. She hasn't had her skin dyed white the way the Joker has.
When was that? Was that established with the fucking '89 Batman movie?
Oh, what, the Ace Chemicals?
That Joker's skin is chemical?
No, I think it was Killing Joke or earlier. Like, that it had always, or
somewhere at the same time that Krusty the Clown was revealed that this ain't makeup.
Well, I mean, even in Batman 66, he's wearing...
Her skin got crustified.
He's wearing that makeup in prison in Batman 66 as well, so...
Dylan and Jacob are bringing up, why would the Batman of this film universe, ever let anybody live?
Yeah.
Considering how many people he kind of murdered in BVS?
Oh, Casey is... multiple people are correcting me. In New 52, she is dunked in the Ace Chemicals. And it does seem a little closer to the New 52 stripperific Harley that we've seen more lately. Now, like, not to be lewd, but those were some great shorts on Margot Robbie.
You enjoyed that, Henry?
Yeah.
Michael Plaskett saying, I remember someone said it looked like Harley shot herself with Homer's makeup gun.
Yeah, that's pretty
I believe Michael Plaskett has not seen the movie, just throwing in all these one-liners. I think he made a mention to Chris Farley Quinn.
Yeah. And Connor is right. It is makeup on the Joker in The Dark Knight because it was more down to earth. There's no Ace Chemicals BS in that. But Ace Chemicals as the birthplace of Joker, I like that.
Paul Jones says, is there anything good about this movie? I know it's not Marvel, but anything like, not every Marvel movie is great. Iron Man 2. But is there anything good about this movie? I'd say everything it tries to...
It's more good than bad.
Yeah, two-thirds of it I thought were amazing. I was shocked that people didn't like it over an hour in, and then I found out why.
I thought, I mostly I think how you were with Apocalypse, where I left kind of like, man, am I bored, and I have no thoughts at all or feelings. This one I was at least like, I'm vaguely entertained, and I don't hate it, and it's fine, and I think Joker's maybe the most obnoxious thing in it. Yeah. I don't hate it, but it's just kind of like, this isn't enough time to get a feel, so when you show up, it seems like someone doing a Joker impression. Because he's not in this movie. He's not a character. He's someone dressed up as the Joker doing Joker things. So without a character, he's just an actor.
But I like
doing things like the Joker.
One of the things I like about the Marvel movies, that it doesn't bother establishing a lot of origins nowadays. It just kind of gets the movie started, and introduces you to concepts you're aware of.
It's just like there's, like you said, you either do this Enchantress thing and forget Joker for now, or you forget this Enchantress cosmic thing and just have Joker be the focus as the villain.
There are a couple,
which I think.
Joker's laugh.
Waller being the villain is the right way to go. Is the right twist.
Because once I thought it was going that way, and then it didn't. Like that's when I sort of like, I see what everybody's talking about with the movie, the tonal differences and the recuts.
Yeah, there's just like some really like breakneck shifts in it. Oh my god, and like some really low moments, like when he finds the top secret folder, we both went, like,
oh no,
oh Jesus.
And he read all of it in a second.
I just read it all immediately, guys. Like, well, that's another of his.
Did you read the part about me being in love? Yeah, I threw it at you in 1 second. Didn't I?
So I know you're in love.
Part of my abilities is speed reading.
And Rick Flag should have been like, because I forgot I was in love with her too, and that's not even like weighing on him much in the final battle. They should have at least had that. He didn't even have like a moment of, should I do this? And also when they have their dream visions or whatever, that's at least like interesting from a character moment, but then it's immediately forgotten. They're like, all right, now it's time to stop hiding. Walk out. Hey, we don't like you. Like, well, why'd you stop? Why were you hiding before and not hiding now? There wasn't a reason.
Now we're emboldened because you showed me things I secretly want.
I like that, Bryant Mitchell. This is sadist gangster Joker, from what I understand, like Bryson Azzarello's Joker. I do sort of like the tale of him as like, he's this maniac force of chaos, but also fucking mafia person.
Yeah,
in addition to that,
that's why I enjoy there always being different takes of Joker. Like 89 Joker is very different from the animated series, which is very different from Heath Ledger. Which so to have this is good. It's a perfectly valid take on Joker. It's just, again, when he only has 9 minutes or whatever, and he's not the main villain, he's not a main character, he has no motive. Like his role in this movie is just to kind of try to get
appear as a force of chaos, but like in a movie that's already pretty chaotic.
That works. You got to be real delicate with your writing stories about chaos, because it's just like, and then this happens. Like, well, then I'm going to rewrite it. It doesn't.
Why don't I just watch like Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery do this live on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Is Dennis Miller? I don't know who those people are.
Well, Whose Line Is It Anyway? It feels like it's improv, and then he goes this way, and then he goes that way.
But I think. You know, this thing I think that hurt the Joker was that we're so used to like setting up what the Joker's relationship is to Batman.
Yes.
And then you know that, and then you know how Harley relates to that. But like Joker and Batman, you don't know how Batman feels about the Joker, and really you don't really know. Joker never has a line like, I hate Batman because of this, or that guy keeps ruining my plans, or anything like that. You just know him related to Harley.
I'm not going
to... And it's not like they have to like... Please lay everything out about Joker, but it's like if you're going to have him be in the movie for more than a cameo, then you need to explain why this person's in the story, which is a problem with ensemble casts unless you're going to give them people that time. But instead, it's like most characters get like a couple of sentences, but then like, hey, Katana's in this movie more than Joker, and I don't really know anything about either one of them.
Yeah, I felt like, you know, Thanos' appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy was more useful, like cameo of a better villain than the main villain type deal.
Yeah, but he's basically just the Emperor. He's just like, I'm a weird face that's like, do this thing or I'll get you. And that's fine. Whereas Joker's like, I'm coming to get you. Okay, but why?
And I definitely feel lied to.
Because you're overbearing? Like,
I definitely feel lied to a degree by the ads, just because the ads really did make you think they're on a mission, and then the Joker fights them, and they have to fight the Joker.
And then it turns into a very standard, like, and then a big crazy space monster. Like,
what I point to the people
which I like.
We're being too negative about it, because Darren Castro, I love the way he says this, Batman vs. Superman can fuck off forever, director's cut or not. This is one of those films I'd want to watch a director's cut of.
Yeah.
Studio meddling is this film's downfall, and I think that's important to point out, because like there's not a good cut of Batman vs. Superman in existence. I don't agree with its reason for existing.
You can't add anything to that.
Yeah,
I don't
agree with what it's setting out to do and what it's trying to establish at all.
Yeah.
But I love everything about what this movie does on that level, and it just kind of went awry for me.
I could use a more subdued version of this movie.
Yeah. Oh, you know, Brian Mitchell has a good point about the difference in the Joker. Ledger's Joker burns the money, while Leto's Joker buys everything. Like, he buys all the gaudy stuff. Like, he's a real clothes horse. He loves owning shit. Like, he is a very like rich guy. Like, it's the most blinged out Joker we've ever seen.
You think Joker is supposed to give the killing blow in the original cut? Like, to what? Enchantress?
That's a bit too much. Like, I can deal with, you know, Harley Quinn being possibly, you know, a villain in a future movie, but like, you can't make Joker, especially the first time you see Joker, that he's somewhat of a hero. Like, that's just too much.
I mean, Joker's evil. Like, and I would hope that her arc the next time we see her is realizing she doesn't want to be with the Joker anymore. I think so do you think this ending leads to Suicide Squad 2, or does it lead to the Batman film where he's going to fight where he'll fight Joker and Harley?
I don't know. I'd really like to see Suicide Squad 2, because I would like to see more of a couple of these characters.
And this was a successful weekend. Like, you had a good first weekend, like money-wise, which some people are like,
that's the Hollywood way.
They're trying to point out, critics don't know anything. People like, no, poorly reviewed films get money all the time. Like, critic reviews don't really change stuff. You know, I mean, Batman versus Superman, if it had better critical things, maybe it would have broken $1 billion.
There you go, Daniel Trisha. The movie's always going to fall on the sword that BVS set up. And when I do say what I like about the film is like just little tiny glimmers that show that it's moving away from that fucking brooding brown universe that I did not like or care to see again. And I mean, Jesus Christ, if you don't think that's happening, look at the Justice League trailer. They are abandoning that shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, that Justice League footage out of Comic-Con was great.
Speaking of which.
So, like, yeah, if they did a Suicide Squad 2, it should literally just keep Deadshot and Harley Quinn. Everybody else.
That's part of I didn't understand. Like, it was someone who made sense of it, why Katana was introduced at the last second, and it's really just to get her sword in there.
Which I mean,
and I like Katana.
But why did you throw 7 unknown characters in at the same time and have us try and root for them and learn from them and watch them try and clumsily stumble through an arc where they decide to do the right thing?
If I were to, why don't we wrap up this then with just a score out of 5 stars?
Yeah,
I would give it 3. There are parts that I really didn't like, but Viola Davis, especially, like, she fucking rules in it. I really and Deadshot and Harley are both really good in it too. And there are some just really good moments in it. And I love the cameos by Batman and Flash. So there's enough that makes me like it. I definitely liked it more than Batman vs Superman. Way more.
I'm gonna give it 11 out of 10 stars.
Okay.
Because I'm also adding in it's two separate movies. So if you put both together, I give it a 7 and a 4.
Okay.
No, I give it a 3.5 stars. I don't know. I'd love to see it. I can't wait to see it again.
Oh god, that music made me groan so hard.
Yeah, I want to see like if what's his name, David Ayer, if his cut like takes out some of those obnoxious like soundtrack cues.
That seems very studio.
Some of the terrible dossier stuff. Like, no, this is like the not every first scene, like the first like half hour of the movie is it's like trailers.
Her role is to fill a sexy Asian role that is missing, says Aaron Chados. When I saw her pop in like that, oh, by the way, it's Katana. Bye. Go on with the movie.
Yeah,
I thought this is like, is this to get it screened in China? But she's not Chinese, and this movie isn't going to China, as the news is telling us, and it's probably going to lose more money as a result of that.
They don't like movies with clowns in them.
No, I think it may be too violent to pass muster in China.
Brett, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, I was just reading the chat still, but like, yeah, I liked Diablo's arc in this. He was actually like, yeah, I like every scene he has, and that actor was good at portraying that character.
It seems like, well, how did he blow up at his family, and why?
He got super mad and blew up.
I don't like
that. That happens in every comic book I've read since 1980.
It just seemed like this is the one PG punch you're going to pull after all the decapitations, and you're not going to show us how that happened.
Well, they show like his wife dissolving in his arms.
But
they do?
It looks
she
like
turns into ashes.
Yeah, but that word like it happens outside or something. It's like what?
But what would showing it?
He goes upstairs in a polo shirt.
What would showing it add to it? Doesn't
matter.
But it doesn't matter.
Casey Walt says because Enchantress is a ghost, it's not allowed in China. Apparently,
are you serious?
There's an anti-ghost rule.
That's why Ghostbusters didn't go to
China. No, Ghostbusters does big business because they're getting rid of the ghosts. I don't know, 3 out of 5, I guess, because like I didn't hate it, and it was exactly what I expected. It was going to be this. It's not bad enough to like go on and on about negativity, but I wasn't floored, and no one scene like wowed me or impressed me. But it like I like almost every actor and every character in this movie. Yeah. You can just tell there's a lot of drama going on behind the scenes that. From studios and actors and whatever that kind of got in the way of this movie, and hopefully everyone can kind of separate and do good things.
Seamus O'Neill says 2 out of 10. All I saw was lost potential. Yeah, I see the opposite actually. Even if warts and all, David Kaplan said the best DC movie that Nolan didn't direct. And still, whatever.
Yeah, this whole like metahuman thing. It's like, wait, of the metahumans, like Harley's not.
Someone brought that up.
Deadshot's not.
Deadshot isn't.
Boomerang's not.
Someone brought that up in the chat, and it's like at least Deadshot, like he can hit any targets.
It's a Boomerang is level of precision.
Boomerang's good at throwing.
It's like Harley's like
and catch his own bullets.
Yeah. Boomerang kind of sucks at throwing.
Yes.
Really, and the movie did not set him up as like, wow, what a great throw. Like,
they didn't make him throw the last thing.
He's just a dude who like threw one boomerang at a guy in the back of his head and like, yep, I'm Captain Boomerang, blow him down.
I guess Deadshot is supposed to be like a bullseye where like, I'm not a mutant, but this is actually all impossible, so I have an impossible level of skill.
Jose Muniz is reading reviews of this film is schizophrenic and that's because the movie is, man. The movie is all over the place.
Yeah. And Dirty Ditz had a good point that I think is Harley's metahuman power, that her bat never breaks. She is bashing open the heads of like space monsters that should have it's tougher than normal bodies, and she just breaks their heads open.
I feel like I shouldn't have liked those scenes, but I really did. Yeah, because the movie does deliver on cool fight sequences in a way
that's another positive for it.
The last DCU movie did not.
That second fight that takes place in the building.
That was another like, okay, you guys. Are you just put in a double of a scene you did before?
Yeah, like we just watched a fight scene that established they all have powers, and you got to see them all do cool things, and then this scene didn't really do anything.
Why am I worried about Harley Quinn in the elevator? She beat up a ton of them outside.
I mean, an elevator fight's always fun, but and I like the hero moment for Deadshot on the cop car, like shooting things down. Cool. Like that was a cool moment that shows you like he's a cool guy. But so that's I think that's all.
I did Josh Fossick. I was thinking like, why not just go full Justice League Dark with this? Whatever.
But it's not like, I don't know. I didn't think it was as bad as anyone made it out to be, but it is not as good as some. I don't know. I'm right in the middle.
If you're listening to us, you know what its faults are, and once you understand maybe it was just like. I have a callous because of Fantastic Four. I've seen the worst of studio tampering and ill-conceived notions as far as superhero movies go. It was a year ago, almost to the day.
Yeah. Casey Walsh has a good point. DC is going through the same third-act struggles Marvel went through. Difference is we aren't being wowed by superheroes anymore. And so, I mean, that was the problem with, like, Thor 2, for example, that was just like, and the world is ending.
Man,
from what?
The last part of Thor 2 is the best part of Thor 2.
Well, I like
all the
them
crazy,
falling through, all
those crazy fucking effects. Like the movie is whatever, and it's one of the weaker ones. But like the visualization of that spacey shit with all the different realities and parallel, like that's a cool visual. Show me another movie that had that.
I honestly think Marvel is not that great in the field of visuals, other than like I always forget Iron Man's suit is CG. Like it's all CG, and I don't notice. But it's visuals. This movie is some of the best visuals I've seen in a superhero movie, give or take whatever's happened in Doctor Strange, which looks fucking Inception as shit.
Yeah, I can't wait
looks
for that.
Great.
But man, the
we're
hot
talk
topic,
about that.
the hot topicization of that movie that was a bit much too.
Well, what's the one thing you want most in the director's cut? For me, it's Deadshot meeting Darnell. I really thought we were going to get that at the very end.
We like kicks Darnell in the balls or whatever. Yeah. Like
I think that I felt like there was some sequence that occurred in between Dr. Enchantress and Flag underneath the subway establishing the bomb that I missed. And that they were going to flash back and show me this big revelation. I'm like, here it comes. This is where it all comes together. I'm like, that was literally all the footage I saw.
I see now why they did that, because that bomb has to be there. They never introduced the bomb before. That's the only reason it's there, but it felt like nothing.
Yeah, I thought
it felt like a movie that was edited live. Yeah. Where you're like, shit, we didn't explain.
Like, move that file over.
Yeah, but like rather than...
I do that every day.
But rather than introduce it coherently at the beginning or in order, it's like, oh, we should do that now. We forgot.
Yeah,
it's like telling a story live, and then before this happens, actually, really quick.
Oh, yeah, wait, I forgot to tell you this part.
What I'd want to see added in the director's cut is more Viola Davis. I want to see that.
Yeah,
and
I would like to have seen some kind of camaraderie between the characters. Like, it looked like Slipknot and Boomerang, like they might be two that kind of pal up.
Yeah.
But like other than the two main speaking roles of Harley and
from
Deadshot,
the movie focus.
Yeah, none of them really have crosstalk or like, what does Diablo think of Croc? We don't really know because they don't
Croc think of anything.
Because no one interacts with anybody. So it's like this ensemble cast that I don't feel like they went through shit together. I feel like I watched a movie with them in it. I didn't feel like invested in their unit.
Rumor has it 30 minutes were cut out with lots of character. Croc being the one, like I don't know a lot about these characters from the comics, but I do know Croc, and he's always a dick. And he didn't do any of that stuff.
Awkward Loser says Harley Quinn is only popular with cosplayers. She's lame. I don't agree with that, but I can definitely tell you, Comic-Con was full of Margot Robbie Harley cosplayers, and you're only going to see more from now on. That will be one of the top cosplay costumes. And another thing I'd want to see in a director's cut is where Rick Flag was played by who he was originally supposed to be, Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy had been cast as Rick Flag originally, and then bowed out because he had
played too many DC characters.
It conflicted with some other thing he was doing, but most people read that as like, oh, he doesn't like the script. So I
know that reading behind the scenes, that movie had a release date before it had a script, and it was full steam ahead, and they had to have it done.
Almost standard now.
But it was the short turnaround, I think, is the difficulty here.
For which movie?
For this movie, because it was like about 15 months from like, yep, green light, release.
Well, another big change they did make was adding Killer Croc to it, because they said originally it was going to be King Shark, who is a regular member of the Suicide Squad in the comics.
Yeah, who's in the show.
But it was on Flash, and they realized like we can't have a CG dude walking around with him the whole time. Let's just have a dude in makeup instead. Yeah. And also one last thing I saw in there trivia wise. The building where they find Waller, it's the John Orstander building or whatever. When I saw it, I was like, oh, John Orstander. He's one of the co-creators of Suicide Squad. And he wrote the original Suicide Squad comics in the 80s.
Wow. And we don't have any money for you, but here's the thing in the movie.
The DC writers get paid.
Yeah, actually,
more so than
do
Marvel.
Get character right stuff. So John Orstander is sitting pretty. I hope so, anyway.
Yeah, well, with that, people, we're going to conclude our Suicide Squad discussion. Jesus Christ. I hope you have seen the movie, and if you're listening to this. If you're not, in the next segment, we are going to discuss upcoming comic book movies we are and or aren't looking forward to. Stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for joining us live, everybody. All right, we're still live, everybody.
Yeah.
Again,
that was for the podcast.
We have to finish the rest of the podcast. We'll turn it around. It'll be up on lasertimepodcast.com. Jesus Christ, people, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry if we didn't get a chance to read your comments on the air, like Connor Wade saying King Shark is my favorite SNL character.
Wow, 133 people, man. Yeah. That's nice.
Thank you, Brian Mitchell, Awkward Loser, Casey Walls, Jose Munez. I wish I could thank all of you. Gary Matthews, love you guys. We have to finish up the rest of the show, and Hank will be on a very special episode of Bonus Time, which you can see if you're a patron at patreon.com/lasertime. Thanks, guys, so much.
Bye. Bye.
Everyone.